Today's meal is going to be beef bourguignon, or burgundy beef. So I'm going to show what the ingredients we've got here. We're going to start again with lardon, which is our bacon, which has been cut up into small pieces. I've sliced the rind off, and I'm going to be keeping that for later to toss in with the pot for flavor. We've got about a pound or so, maybe a pound and a half of beef, stewing beef, as lean as you can get it. And make sure it's dry, that you patted it dry with a paper towel, because it won't brown properly if it's wet. Got some diced onions there, a sliced carrot, about a dozen or so pearl onions, some button mushrooms just sliced in half, some beautiful Provençal garlic, which we'll be adding. And for seasoning, we've got a bay leaf, some fresh thyme and fresh parsley, and we'll be adding about a half a bottle of Burgundy wine and some tomato paste. So I browned the beef in 2 batches in the fat, and just removed it and put it aside with the lardon. And doing it in 2 batches just so it doesn't get too crowded, and make sure that it all gets nicely browned. The next thing I'm going to do is saute the onions and the carrots in. That's about how you want your onions to look. Then we're going to add back the beef and the lardon. To take about 1 to 2 tablespoons, or 1 nice heaping tablespoon of flour. And then just toss it around to coat the meat as much as possible. So the beef has been in the oven here at 425 for about 10 minutes. I took it out halfway through and tossed it a little bit to spread it out a little bit, so it's got a nice little bit of a crispness on it, and it looks nice and brown. I'm going to turn the oven down now to 325, and now we're going to add our wine and other ingredients. We're going to use about a half a bottle of the wine for this, but there we go. About equal amounts of the wine and beef stock. Everything in there is nicely covered. Now we're going to add our seasoning, which is the herbs that we had, the thyme and the parsley. I'm putting in the rind from the bacon in there. I'll be taking that out later, of course, but that's just to add more flavor to it. And the last thing that we're going to need in there is about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. So the beef has been in the oven at 325 for about 2 hours, and now we're going to prepare the onions to add to them. So we've just heated up some olive oil and butter. We're going to add the pearl onions to them. The beef is ready, but what I've done is I have poured off the gravy through a sieve into this pan to thicken it a little bit. It wasn't quite as thick as I wanted to. I already put the beef and vegetables onto the plate along with our boiled potatoes. And now I'm just going to spoon some of this wonderful gravy over top.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bon appetit.
Cooking. There's nothing difficult about what we did. Anybody who knows their way around a kitchen at all can make these kinds of things. There's no fancy techniques. And this is about as inexpensive a cut of beef as you can get. A little bit of wine in the sauce, and this is very, very, very easy to make, and it really doesn't take that long. And boy, I'll tell you, that's better than the kind of beef stew that I'm used to having.